Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Game week 14 in the books. These are the game week 15 predictions. James, we'll have a little look at how we did last week. I was 6-4. It's my first positive game week for ages. Usually I like to sit on 5-5 and just kind of twiddle my thumbs like that. But no, I'm back. I'm trying to get back to 500 there. So 6-4, my record for game week 14. Overall, 60 and 69. So I'm 9 points off being above 500, which is really kind of, I think, my aim for the end of the year. James, 4-6 for you. So just a little down again. It's not the worst result in the world. You know, again, there was a few draws in there, and James, a few surprising results in there. Nobody, I'm sure, had Leeds to beat Liverpool at Anfield. Even the people who had the draw wouldn't have gotten that one right. So 4-6 for you there. Overall, 55 and 74. 5 games behind me there. But obviously, we know what you're capable of with your 8-2 week potentially available. We'll start with you though, James. Going into game week 15, Nottingham Forest welcoming Brentford. Who have you got winning that one?
First ever meeting in the Premier League. Forest just came off a battering against Arsenal. Brentford, to me, our team is a bit of a yo-yo, season where they got some good results here, there, then draws, this and that. It's been a weird one. Forest seems to be a team that's destined to go down. I feel like that Liverpool game is almost an anomaly. It's almost like Liverpool just giving out points for free at this point. I want to say Brentford, but I'm going to stick with a draw, and I'm going to say 1-0.
No, I don't blame you there. I've got 2-1 Brentford. 1-1 would have been probably my second scoreline pick. I'm just going to go with the fact that I think Brentford are a better team, know each other better. And again, I like what Ivan Toney has to offer. This Forest team, in terms of their relationships, are still building. Maybe they'll get better and have a little push at the end and try and just avoid relegation, but tend to agree with you. I really don't think they're gonna make that. And Brentford, again, Thomas Frank, they're kind of punching above where they should be, but that's a credit to them. But the overall talent is not good enough for them to really threaten teams, especially away from home. So 2-1 Brentford on that one for me. Wolves versus Brighton. Brighton, who obviously a huge result against Chelsea, kind of humbled Graham Potter a little bit there. And Wolves, again, I feel like, I talk about this a lot. I feel like we should just have a little soundboard that I should press. Yeah, Wolves are like a really talented, nice football team. But they don't have the finishing piece. Diego Costa is not that guy. Pretty sure he got red carded at the weekend as well, so it's always nice to welcome him back like that. But yeah, in terms of talent, there's a reason why this guy was a free agent for such a long period of time. Yes, again, going to repeat myself. I'm gutted about Sasa Kalacic as well. It's such a shame that they couldn't have somebody come in to kind of score these goals. And Brighton, again, it's a good team. They all know their roles. The relationships are really good at the moment. De Zerbi's still getting his feet warm under the table there in terms of being the boss. And I just don't bank on Wolves to defensively be good enough, because that's a weakness for their team. And attacking-wise be good enough, which is a weakness for their team too. Like, the fact that your midfield is your strongest asset, to a certain extent, is not a good thing. You need people who can stop the other team from scoring and people who can score you goals, and they don't have that at all in their team. So I've got them scoring 1 goal, but I've got Brighton scoring 3. James, Brighton going to Wolves, what have you got?
Interestingly enough, if you look at the last 5 games, it's kind of equal. Both teams have 3 losses, 1 win, and 1 draw. So so they're kind of having a similar season in a way. You mentioned Wolves. The Diego Costa thing isn't nice. He's going to miss out on Saturday.
I'd have brought a kid up from like the under 23s, under 21s, under 18s. Like, seriously, just give him a shot,
Let's hopefully Raul Jimenez can even come up with something. But Brentford were just absolutely incredible against Chelsea. But I feel like for them, it's like the motivation seeing a manager come back, and the fact that he left you guys, you're going to be extra motivated from that. I'm going to go for Wolves, Jack, to win this game. I'm going to think Wolves are just going to have a little bit of extra motivation. The fact that they haven't won in their last 3, in like, who wants to go 4 games without a win. I'm going to say 2-1 to Wolves, Jack.
2-1 to Wolves. I like it. James, staying with you. Manchester City, Fulham coming to town. Will he, won't he? Is Erling Haaland going to play? Who knows? But Fulham coming to town. How much do you have Man City winning by?
Player or not player, City win. it's hard to go to the Etihad and win. Yes, there's always going to be one team coming to the Etihad and having that amazing performance and victory. Always seems to happen once in a season. Do I see Fulham doing that? Unfortunately, not. To be fair, Fulham's run in the last 5 hasn't been too bad. Haven't lost in the last 4, 2 wins, 2 draws, but it is against Manchester City. It is against the champion. We know the quality that this team has. I'm gonna say Jack 3-0 City.
I got the exact same score. Yeah, look, Erling Haaland's not playing tonight against Sevilla. He's going to be fully fit and getting ready for these remaining Premier League games as well. And you can tell that that's very much on Pep's mind. Yeah, he's going to come back and he's going to score a goal. This Fulham team I like, but especially on this big kind of Etihad pitch as well. This Man City team, this could be a 75-80% possession football game for Man City. It's all well and good having Alexander Mitrovic, but if he doesn't get the ball, then he can't do anything with it. So for me, kind of really just convincing, easy win for Manchester City, getting them kind of back on track there. Leeds. Bournemouth coming to town, Leeds United and Bournemouth. Jesse Marsch under pressure. Again, I think he's done better than I thought he'd do, but I still don't think we're seeing anything better than what Marcelo Bielsa was doing there as well. And I think in some way, shape or form, the Jesse Marsch era is going to come to an end at some point this year. We'll have to wait and see. Bournemouth, again, James, you and I have been really down on Bournemouth in terms of what they've been able to do, and what they have been able to do has actually been somewhat impressive. I'm going to just go with 1-1. I think Bournemouth are going to be a pain in the neck to play against. I think they'll manage to grab a goal, and then Leeds will push and push and push, but I can't see them being able to overcome that Bournemouth defensive line. So I'm going to just say 1-1 Leeds versus Bournemouth. Who have you got in that one?
Both teams are coming off 2 contrary results. Brighton having the chance to Bournemouth having a chance to beat Tottenham, and Tottenham come back from 2 goals down to win, and Leeds going away to Anfield, going away to Liverpool at Anfield and getting a shock victory. So you can see one team's down after losing 2-goal lead, the other team's up. Maybe it's the fact that Liverpool just giving away results that we might not get too high on that result, but Leeds have shown to me some good moments there, in some good result at times. They probably should have got something at that Aston game, and I'm just gonna back them here. I looked at what Leeds were able to do against Liverpool, and they created enough chances in that game. So I'm going to say, let's go 2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds. James, staying with you, Everton, Leicester City. I don't know about you. I found this one really, really tricky to call. Leicester are giving me more problems than Southampton at the moment. Who have you got in that one?
Jack, this is a nasty. This is a nasty one.
Right. This could be 3-0 to either team.
I don't know. I really don't know. And this is generally a roll of the dice type of result. We don't know what type of Leeds is, what type of Leicester is going to show up. Everton, we're not sure what type of Everton is going to show up. At the same time, Leeds, before the Man City game, went 3 games without a defeat. Everton,
Leicester, yeah.
Leicester went 3 games without a defeat. Everton haven't lost in the last 2. It feels like it's going to be a boring game, and I feel easy just to sit on the fence here, Jack. Let's go 1-0. That's like it. There isn't much to kind of give, when you actually look at their previous results and also what the team offers right now. Let's just stick with 1-0.
Yeah, I got the same thing, and I'm not gonna lie to you. There were a lot of games this week that I wanted to pick draws, but I know that's not usually how it shakes out. There's always a couple, but there's never usually that many. But this is just one that I can't look past. Again, I can see Everton, Calvert-Lewin brace, Calvert-Lewin's back, guys, all this kind of stuff, and then a good solid defensive performance. I can also see Leicester City. I can see James Maddison just popping off, right? Harvey Barnes being dynamic and attacking. Patson Daka gets some form going, and maybe Jamie Vardy gets in on the act. All this kind of stuff. But look, it's just one of those games. I can't really go one way or the other without the other half of my brain going, oh no, but hang on a minute. So I'm just going to shoot right down the middle and go with the 1-1 draw. I tend to agree with you. We got 2 really big games this week. As while I was doing the build-ups here, I was getting really excited because we do have 2 fantastic games this week. Ooh. Chelsea Arsenal. James knows that this is one of two games that I'm really fascinated to see how Arsenal do in, to kind of cement how I'm feeling about Arsenal, Arsenal overall. I do think that Chelsea are going to obviously want to make up for the Brighton game. They're going to come out really motivated and really ready to go. But again, this Arsenal team aren't to be toyed with. So again, I need them to still prove it to me that they're capable of getting a draw or capable of getting a result away at a top team like Chelsea. And I think they are going to do that. I think this is going to be 1-1. I think Chelsea may be overly motivated and might overextend and leave some spaces for Arsenal, the likes of a Gabriel Martinelli, a Gabriel Jesus. There's going to be space, I think, for them to get at this Chelsea side, because I think they will overextend to make up for the week before. But then again, Chelsea, Stamford Bridge at home, I do think in some way, shape or form, there's enough attacking talent for them to get not a fluky goal, but just, a deflected goal or a set piece or something that I think Chelsea will keep it competitive. So I am going to go 1-1 for this one. Who have you got in this one, James?
As we were talking, I was just looking at the Champions League just to make sure what's going on with Chelsea, because both teams do need to get a victory to secure top spot. So they are going to go for the champions for the European games this week. Jack, it's mad because many other years we'll have this prediction. I'm going Chelsea, right? And I'm an Arsenal fan, but Arsenal giving me this fuzzy feeling. They've made me believe in. I'm not scared going away to Stamford Bridge anymore. I was asked by a bunch of people, well, James, Chelsea this week, bring it on.
Yeah, and why not?
This is in Jack, and like this goes two ways. Chelsea, this is probably the least scared I've ever felt at Chelsea.
Right.
To me, it's weird. It doesn't feel like a Chelsea anymore. No. It doesn't feel the same way it used to, maybe, of course, with the ownership and all that sort of stuff. But I don't feel the same fear factor.
No.
And I believe going to Stamford Bridge, especially recently, Jack, we've been able to have some decent results, especially last season. I think we're going to go there and win, Jack.
Go for it. I respect it. Do it.
I'm going to say 3-2 Arsenal.
3-2. Wow. Proper classic. Love that. And especially if it's being a 3-2, maybe some bookings in there, maybe a red card for somebody. No. Look, I love it. And like I've talked about, James, this is going to be one of those games, this one and the City game. It's going to be like, look, let's see how you do. Because again, if they can get even a point out of these games, then I start to look at Arsenal and go, man, if they're drawing the tougher games away from home, then maybe a title push is not out of the realms of possibility. Moving on to Aston Villa, James, welcoming Manchester United, who Pep has said is coming back. Do Manchester United get it done against Aston Villa?
I don't think Pep is wrong. Jack, there's people talk about Man United, the poor start and everything like that. You look at the fixture, I think that they're 3 points off Tottenham with a game in hand. And Tottenham are third. And people are talking about, could Tottenham challenge for the league? Manchester United, when you watch them games, is not crazy impressive. They weren't crazy impressive against West Ham for the majority of it. West Ham probably should have got something out of it. But I like where they're going with it, and I like the way how Eric Ten Hag has been able to manage his way during this during this time at Man United. Unai Emery it's gonna be Unai Emery's first game in charge. They came off an absolute battering against Newcastle, so you might see a bit of a chain reaction there. But I'm going to back the quality of Man United to come through again, and I'm going to say, let's say 2-1 or. Let's go 3-1 Man United.
3-1. I got 2-1 as well. I think that, you made all the right noises there. What's Unai Emery going to do when his team gets battered? Is he going to come out fighting with exciting attacking football and that makes you get off your seat and go, wow, Leon Bailey, Ollie Watkins, Danny, no. He's going to go in on himself even more. He's going to be even harder to beat and even harder to break down. And James, I think Manchester United have the players with an Eriksen, with a Bruno Fernandes, the base of somebody like Casemiro, the wide players, the attacking talent they have, and then the physical qualities of the likes of a Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of heading the ball. Marcus Rashford, we saw his header at the weekend as well. And look, I agree with Pep Guardiola. Manchester United, I think, are on their way back. I think I've told you it's going to be 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but that's a net gain of 1 step. And if they keep doing that, they are going to be back. Cristiano Ronaldo leaves in January, new players get brought in, etc., etc. I've been very, very impressed by Erik ten Hag, and I do think Manchester United will make top 4 this year. Don't know about a title push, but I do think, maybe next season we could be looking at a team that may be ready to challenge for the title. It's incredible how quickly things can turn around. From Villa's standpoint, like I say, I think if they come out fighting, they're going to get gashed, and it could be another really embarrassing game. And I don't know how long Unai Emery will be in the job. That's why I think they'll be a bit more defensive. That's why I've only got them winning by 1 goal in that one. Southampton, my least favourite team to pick because they hugely mess me up. Newcastle coming to town though. James, I got Newcastle winning 3-0. And I think we need to be talking about Newcastle now in the same way that we talk about, Liverpool and Spurs and Man United. And, they are that team now. If they come up against any team outside of the top 6, I'm going to probably back Newcastle to win. And in some of the games, especially when it's at St James's Park, I'm going to back them to at least draw games against the top 6 teams as well. They're discovering themselves, they're finding themselves, and, James, confidence is the biggest thing. If you start puffing your chest out, playing with a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence, which I think, with the money spent, ownership, Eddie Howe's going to, really, really try and push that onto his players as well. They're finding their feet as to being and becoming a big team again in England, Newcastle United, especially with that fan base who have been yearning for it for a long time. I just think that we're going to see it continue. The likes of Miguel Almiron, Bruno Guimaraes, Callum Wilson's been brilliant. Like I say, it sucks for Alexander Isak that he got hurt, but Callum Wilson's such a great deputy. Convincing 3-0 win on the South Coast for me for Newcastle here. Again, because I've said that, Saints will win 4-0 and I'll just bloody hell.
Southampton are an odd team. If you guys look at our previous videos, we always talk about Southampton game. We don't know what's going to happen. They could rather get blown away and lose 9-0, which seems to be happening every single season. They seem to get a 9-0 loss, or they can just come out and beat a team like Man City or Liverpool, or get a draw against Arsenal like they're able to do this season. But Newcastle, Jack, are looking. Callum Wilson's playing well. Almiron is making Jack really eat his words. And it's hard to back against them, Jack. I'm even looking at the previous fixtures. Newcastle have kind of dominated the previous fixtures. I'm going to say Newcastle. Let's go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. I like it. James, staying with you. East London. West Ham welcoming Crystal Palace. One of the many London derbies that the Premier League throws out. What are you thinking on the score on this one?
Again, West Ham obviously have Europe. I'm not sure if they're qualified yet. Probably need to check on that. But again, West Ham is a bit of a weird one for David Moyes, because I almost felt like if they kind of went at Man United a little bit more, they could have came away with a point, or maybe all three coming to the end. But the fact that they did wait that long, I do think it's a lot easier for teams when they keep it close and they can kind of throw everything out late on in that game. But with West Ham, they got quality there, but it's to me about having that quality come out at the right time. I think the loss of Lucas Paqueta is a big thing, because his creative nous is a big thing for them. But as you mentioned, Scamacca, what's going to happen with Antonio? Can he find a way to get them both playing? Crystal Palace, we know the qualities that they have there. We know what they can do. Just came off a win. But in this London derby recently, it seems to be West Ham kind of gotten the edge. And I'm going to go West Ham to get the edge again. I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham, Jack.
3-1 West Ham. Yeah, I like it. Look, James, I've got the same points score differential there, 2-0. I just think they'll keep a clean sheet for West Ham. Guys, David Moyes will never be able to manage at the top level. It's not really his bag. But again, with these kinds of teams, he's going to be able to spot the issues that Crystal Palace will give West Ham, and he's going to be able to shut them out. Especially if you've got midfield guys in there like, a Declan Rice and a Thomas Souček. These are not guys who are going to be ill-disciplined and be a bit of a maverick and be correct. They're going to do what they're told, and what they're going to be told is to shut out what makes Crystal Palace so dangerous and so good, limit their opportunities, and then in an attacking sense, again, they have players who can get at you. Said Benrahma's not a bad player, right? Pablo Fornal's not a bad player. Jared Bowen, not a bad player. Gianluca Scamacca could be a superstar in this league. Mikel Antonio is very, very dangerous, right? So again, I just think West Ham are the better team. They're at home, and like you said, James, that Man United West West Ham game. They could have gotten something out of that game, maybe even all 3 points. So again, I do think with West Ham are back to the levels they were at points last year, and I'm just going to back them against a slightly weaker Crystal Palace side to get it done quite convincingly. Man, I've been first on both the fun big games of the week. So here we go again. Spurs welcoming Liverpool to town. Fascinating game. James and I did a little video on Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp recently, and I mentioned Spurs will want to play Liverpool now as opposed to any other point in the season. Liverpool want to play Spurs now, probably other than any other point in the season. There was a late winner to get a game to win a game against Bournemouth. Bournemouth were able to score a couple of times on them as well. Spurs, it's been kind of the story of the season, which is not really what I was expecting. Spurs are not playing well, but they are still getting these results. It doesn't fill me with a great deal of confidence that they'll be able to continue doing it. But again, similarly to what happened, I think is going to happen in the Chelsea-Arsenal game, I expect Liverpool to be over-aggressive, to overextend. And what do we know? If a team, especially like Liverpool, can overextend, they can be probably got at on the break. Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, etc., all these kinds of guys. Spurs, I expect to have 3 chances. I expect them to score 2 of them. Liverpool will have most of the pressure and be piling on. James, I do have Spurs 2-1 in another undeserving victory that has Liverpool scratching their heads wondering how they lost the game. Who have you got in this one?
It's a weird one for me, Jack, because both teams have Champions League duty this week, and quite important. Liverpool do want to finish top of their group. Sure. I do think it's going to be tough with the way Napoli's playing, but Spurs have almost a cup final against Marseille, so that might be a thing that make them not
in
as
France
focused.
Too, right? I think it's in France.
Yes, in France.
So they got to travel as well. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the funny thing about the Marseille fans letting off fireworks at 3 a.m. at Spurs' hotel. It's funny. We love to see it, but. You mentioned about Spurs' quality, Jack, in the break and all that sort of stuff there. Jack, in recent weeks, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen this counter-attacking stuff from Kane. And what we usually see from Tottenham right now is these late scraps, where they're chucking the ball in and then they're getting victories. Jack, they're scoring off a lot of corners and set pieces, and that might be a thing that may catch Liverpool out, because I look at Tottenham's last few games and they're getting their goals from usually set pieces, but this might be a game that kind of suits Liverpool. Tottenham haven't been over aggressive from the point of view of both teams haven't started well. Tottenham usually go a goal down. Exact same thing with Liverpool. Liverpool always seem to go a goal down there, but I feel like Liverpool can be a little bit more aggressive than Tottenham. Yet, and then they can get Tottenham on the back foot a little bit more, get a goal, and obviously take it for the rest of the game. So I'm going to say 3-1 for Liverpool. Ooh. And also, it will also depend on the way Klopp sets up. Will he go back to the way that he did against City? Because I think that would be very, very effective against a Tottenham team. But I'm gonna back Liverpool, and I'm gonna say 3-1 Liverpool.
Look, James, and you're absolutely right. And you've put another great example in of why these games are so difficult to pick. James, if we're talking, if you show me the lineup for what Liverpool are going to do and the way that we think they're going to play, totally changes the way I'm going to pick. Right now, I'm banking on this whole, we need to make Darwin Nunez, we need to make it work. That's what I'm kind of banking on. That's the way they're going to be playing. Guys at home, I know I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'm going to mention it again. Hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. James and I are well on our way to 1,000. We'd love to get there with your support. Drop a like on the video as well. And also, as we say each week, put your comments down. I was reading through the ones for game week 14. Some people putting some comments down there for what they think is going to happen. Quite a few incorrect results in there as well. So, James and I, we make it look hard, and I'm telling you, it's because it is hard. This is not an easy thing to do. So yeah, share with us your predictions as well. And until next time, we'll see you.
Also, we do appreciate you guys. Bye.
We do appreciate you.